Johnny Chavalier, a phénomène de français. Within the brief span of a year, he appeared out of nowhere, mesmerizing teens by every means, and then exited in a style that has yet to be matched by another performer. It was January 1958, and Paris was filled with restless teens hungry for a taste of that new American rock and roll music. Elvis was shaking his hips and making waves that crossed the Atlantic. It was that seething rock and roll rhythm that could only lead to rascallion behavior and unbridled erotic discharge. Was imitation really the highest form of flattery? The night when Parisian teen Jean Chartres and a friend broke into a local music store and filmed themselves being cool cats? Who knows how it sounded, but to Jean it sure felt right, and within the next few months he would do anything he could to keep that feeling alive. In Paris, on September 9th, 1940, he was born, and in Le Shop de Musique, on June 19th, 1958, he was born again. But what would it take to get from here to here? The ability to sing? No. Guitar lessons? No. Just Vincent Cavatelli. Boo. Vincent was a man who kept his eyes on the prize and a hand in your pocket. He saw potential in Jean, and Jean was just too afraid to ask questions.
I could make beautiful things come from every hole in his body, and he liked that.
A deal was struck, and Vincent took Jean for a high-speed ride to the corner of fame and fortune. First gear, fine-tune the image, wash the street out of his pores. Look mean, but smell clean. That was one of Vincent's mottos. Keep the jacket, and keep those pathetic glasses. They're a gimmick in disguise. It would be a personal challenge to see the glasses as half full, rather than half empty. And what's in a name? By any other name, a rose would taste just as sweet. But a teen idol needs a bitchin' ID. Hence, as a tribute to his American rock and roll models, Johnny, and to couple that with the image of a classic French lover, Chavalier, Vincent knew that Jean didn't belong anywhere near a stage. But Johnny Chavalier certainly did. Standing out was going to be easy. Consider the popular acts of the day. Toulouse and to lose. Choral and campy, yet never crossing that fine line. Henri Dognose and the Lost Children. Unconventional arrangements, but drop-dead harmonies. And the Inchworm A-Go-Go, a one-hit wonder. Second gear, pull out all the stops. Me Media. Bonjour Magazine. Its influence could make or break a career. And edition number 69 became all the rage. Who's this mysterious newcomer who can do no wrong? That's Johnny Chavalier. All this attention and yet no record. But cutting a record could ruin everything. And singing could irritate his throat. But who needs to sing when you can whisper?
Maintenant, il est temps. L'air est ici. Pour le roi, c'est moi. Comme un chien qui a soif.
Seulement un œil. Translated, only one eye. Capitalized on the pair of broken sunglasses that so sharply defined Johnny's image. When asked the meaning, he replied, "One eye looks outward, while the other looks inward and explores my complex ego." He sings, "Now it's time. The hour is here for the king. I am the king, like a thirsty camel." And he later sings, my eyes, too complicated for you." Sous le Montaneuil climbed the charts quickly. It made such an impact that at one point it was both #1 and #3. Yes, there were endorsement deals. The coals were hot. Endorse. Foom cigarettes for the taste that stays with you while you sleep. Swish Miss mouthwash, made for a man, but tastes like a woman. And Love Scrub, the shampoo that massages and massages and massages your skin. Yes, he was a star, one of the shining stars, and every girl wanted to sleep under the stars.
Dans des tatouage des morts arrive à la porte dans le soir. Tous les jours, une soirée avec Dieu. Enfin, écoute-moi, pourquoi pas, suivez-moi, le roi, c'est moi.
Occasionally, he met girls who would only sleep with phenomena, and he wasn't a phenomenon. That would come later. A funny trend was initiated by fan club president Bibette Trateau. It became a sign of respect to work yourself into a fainting frenzy at the mention of the name Chavalier. So imagine the uproar when Johnny, in order to cover up his limitations as a singer, announced, "I will not record again until recording technology can do justice to my voice." And then added, "But don't miss the premiere of Johnny and Francois this Saturday at noon." Hardly a substitute, but fans forgave their musical messiah when he released Regardez-moi, a feature film runaway hit which translates "Look at me," something for everyone, an orgy of genres filmed over a long weekend. Much of its success had to do with the conventional plotline. Boy meets girl. Boy loses girl to space creature. Boy wins back many, many girls with songs aplenty. The wild behind-the-scenes activities spawned a little Johnny. And he was ready in time for Christmas. Touted as the first anatomically correct action figure. Vincent leaked a rumor that perhaps it was this doll that forced a big wedge between Barbie and Ken. Yes, it was Christmas time. And what do you think was on everybody's gift list? Tickets. Almost a year had gone by, and Johnny had never performed live. He announced a Christmas Eve concert and seats went fast. The only tickets that went faster were for the makeup show on New Year's Eve. You see, the first performance lasted only 1 minute and 37 seconds. There was standing room only. There was enthusiasm. There were sweaty, wine-soaked hands. And there were ungrounded wires. No music, great light show. He shaked, rattled and rolled into the hospital for 3 days. But 1 week later, he was back with an apology and a performance that has yet to be matched. Mix an emotionally charged evening like New Year's Eve with fanatical devotion and aggressive anticipation, and you get January the 1st, 1959. Chavalier took the stage at 11. Vincent was on drums that night, having fired John Michel for using a toiletry that Johnny hadn't endorsed. Johnny flirted with every girl on the floor. It felt so sexual that fans later referred to it as floor play. This was the kind of moment he had dreamt of in La Shop de Musique just 1 year earlier. There he was, standing on the corner of Fame and Fortune, watching the traffic bustle before him. But not for long. The clock struck midnight, the new year. A feverish wave of kisses, cardigans and cosmetics rushed the stage. It all happened so quickly. The band stopped playing. Stage security lost sight of him instantly. And this is when he became a phenomenon. By the time the chaos cleared, he was gone, never to be seen or heard from again. Vanished. Within the span of exactly a year, he appeared out of nowhere, mesmerized teens by every means, and then vanished into thin air. Some say he was kidnapped. Some say he was torn into 1,000 souvenir pieces. Some say it was so hot under that crowd that he melted. Some say they still keep his right eye in suspended animation. The biggest fans don't say a thing. They simply turn up the volume.
Maintenant, il est temps. Les Well, c'est moi, comme mon cher qui a soif. J'ai des idées que je veux expliquer, que le monde, je sois si